Hi, I'm Danny Butler, and this is an explainer video and trial tube. Now, in my last video, let's just say I ruffled some feathers when I came to review the Nitro. I said a few things. There's some stuff that doesn't really work for the UK. One place where they can all get wet together. There are lots of parts on this bike which have been a huge progression for the brand. Although the bike does breathe a lot better now with this new exhaust system, and it does because it sounds ferocious. I know a lot of clubmen watch my channel. If you are a clubman watching this and want to buy a 300 Vertigo, do yourself a favour and buy the 250. I'm not taking them back. And, you know, there was a lot of comments and a lot of people have been sort of happy, unhappy with the review. But it's a review. Here on Trial Tube, we do not review every bike by saying they are the best thing since sliced bread. I could have done a review where it was like this. Welcome to Trial Tube, and this is the new Vertigo Nitro. And as you can see, it is the best Nitro because the wheels have never been rounder. The decals have never been greener. Yeah. And the build quality has never, ever been better. This is how the bike reviews are done nowadays, where I say everything is amazing and you should get your wallet out. That just simply will not do here at Trial Tube. We're not about that. We're about giving our viewers and our subscribers an honest view, even if the bike is mine and I've parted with my hard-earned dollars to buy this bad boy. Now, I can tell you a few things from that review that I am happy with. I am happy that I was honest. I'm happy that I didn't just take the bike on face value. Obviously, I'd had this bike a few more weeks than I'd let on, and it wasn't like the usual review where I just jump onto the bike on the day that I see it and take it for face value on that one day. If you watch that video and took that as like a one-day review of me riding the bike, then you're an idiot. I have actually owned this Vertigo Nitro now for a couple of weeks. So could we class this as a long test review? Maybe. Basically, I'd had the bike 3 weeks and I'd rode it a lot in the mud. I'd rode it a lot in the rain. I'd rode it over Christmas here in the UK. And for anybody that's in the UK, they'll know that the weather over Christmas was horrendous. Horrendous.
Oh, it's good Scottish weather, madam. The rain is falling straight down. Oh, slightly to the side like.
So I'm going to clear a few things up that I said on that review about my bike. Now let's talk about the power of this bike. In the last video, I had mentioned that this bike had got quite a lot of oomph. If you don't know what oomph is, well, ask your mum and dad. Did you see that amount of power there? There's so much power. But not as much as this! Oh, beauty! Basically what I was saying is, yes, it is very smooth and torquey on the bottom end, but that top end of the Nitro is ferocious. And you can tell simply by the sound. Since they've changed the exhaust and made the bike breathe better, I do feel, and it's my opinion, that this bike is more powerful than my R3 that I had previously. That's right, this bike's got more power coming out of it than my R3 had previously. There we go. Maybe 1 point for the Nitro there, not sure. And I've also had some prestigious and well-known expert riders, clubman riders, national level riders, to basically, and trials tutors.
Hi Dan, I'm here.
To ride my bike to make sure that I wasn't going crazy when I said a 300 wasn't for a clubman. So either all of those people are wrong and the people that disagree are right, or we're all wrong as experienced trials riders and somebody who just jumped on the bike that day, or, well, you get the idea. Anyway, I'm sorry if I was wrong, and I wasn't, so I was right. There we go. Next thing, I said maybe the factory are trying to rush the bikes out, and you know what? Part of me still believes that with this bike, but Vertigo have been in touch. Firstly, they thanked me for making the video, which was ever so nice of them, so thanks for that, Vertigo. And secondly, they've reassured me that they've upped the grease intake into the bike, which is nice. Since then, the guys at Vertigo UK have, like I said, been in touch and said that they're checking every single bike that comes through them. I'll tell you what, that's effort, that. Cheers, guys.
It's not about money. It's about sending a message.
Now you'll notice that, quite uncustomary, my bike is quite dirty today, which is a bit of a difference for me because normally it's pristine clean, although I did fall on my rear end whilst warming up for this shot.
No.
Or shots. Now today, I've left it dirty so that you guys get the chance to see inside where the electrics are housed on my Nitro, to see how dirty they get after a trial. I did ride this weekend just gone. Yes, it's bad for me to leave the bike dirty, but I wanted to do this shot to make sure I could be completely transparent on the channel and show you my bike and what goes on inside there. So this will be the first time that I've had it off, by the way. But no electrical breakdown, and I've been reassured by the guys at Vertigo UK that all the connectors are waterproof. If you want to do a bit of extra maintenance, there is like a waterproof seal grease that you can buy and put around the electric connections, but I've been told that there shouldn't be any problems. So here we go, it's these two 4mm pins which I've actually replaced for some shiny red anodized aluminium ones. And pop these out with the little spacers, and it is nice and easy to get in there. Let's speed it up. Now we're inside, and we're going to try and get a better angle so you guys can have a better look. Now, whether you like this amount of dirt getting in there or not, it's just the way it is. It's an off-road motorcycle, and yes, it's going to get dirty. It's easy to take a lot of this out of there and then either clean it up, wash it, scrub it out. It depends on how good you are at maintaining your bike. If you're good at it, it'll stay clean. If you're not good at it, then at least the electrics are actually projected out of there. But I just felt like I wanted to be honest, and I had a lot of jip for the last video, so I thought I'd go into some more detail. There you go, that's under the hood and the electrics, and yeah, if you're happy with it, great. If you're not happy with it, great. Basically, I'm just being transparent, and they are, I've been told, completely waterproof plugs and seals to where the ECU grows into all the other electrical components. There we go. I'll tell you what though, it is quite easy to put back together. So make your own decision. I've showed you inside there, and yeah, it's up to you what you think. I'm just here to show you. Now, in the last video, I actually started by saying, is it as good as my last bike? Is it as good as my last one? Yes and no, because my R3, I really gelled with that bike. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it was like an extension of myself. I'm going to be completely honest. As you've seen in previous videos, take a watch back, I instantly fell in love with the Vertigo R3. I thought it was basically the best thing since sliced bread. It was almost like one of those reviews that I said that we don't do.
No.
Whereas the Nitro, it took some getting used to for me. It took a few steps to get used to because, well, like I said, it's a different bike, and you've got to give them credit for it because Vertigo are probably the only brand that have actually progressed at this speed and at this rate. So there's that. Which one do I prefer now? Yeah, it's the Nitro now. It's more fiery, it's more my cup of tea, and yeah, I do prefer it now. But if you'd asked me in the beginning, well, people like what they used to, don't they, in all fairness? So this could have been a completely different answer if I'd just done it on the same day sort of review, but I haven't, so that's the experience I've had, and now I'm giving it to you. Now, before we go any further, a quick word from this week's video sponsor, and I'm going shopping. Now, today we're at Inch Perfect, and we're going to be talking a little bit about these guys because it's a one-stop shop for brand new bikes, like this stunning 301RR Repsol Honda. Are you mine? Second-hand bikes. Or when I say second-hand, they're normally in really good condition because they've been through their workshop. As well as being the UK's premier trials destination, they're also an importer. When I say an importer, they are basically the driving force behind the EM brand, which, as you can see next to me, there's a few in stock, as well as test bikes and second-hand bikes, and this E-Pure Comp Race in front of me, which, are you mine? They also have an enormous stock of boots and helmets for you to try out whilst you're here. Oh, have I mentioned that they've actually got the biggest stock in the UK of Alpine Star as well, which seem to be on a deal right now. Are you mine? They also have an extremely experienced parts department.
Good afternoon, Inch Perfect Parts Department.
Yes, I'd like to order a belt drive for a 1970 gas, please.
Nice try, Danny.
They also have an enormous range of clothing in different sizes, styles, from a range of brands, but only the top ones in trials. Are you mine? It's also the kind of place that you can turn up and meet like-minded people that love trials, like this guy. Hello, mate. It's also the kind of place where you can come, grab a nice warm drink, mid-ride, but don't walk in with your boots on because they've got really nice carpet. It's also one of the only venues that you can come to in the country where you actually have to sign on digitally. God, future spec. So Inch Perfect is also the kind of place that was started by trials enthusiasts, like Matt, who for almost a decade now has been providing pay and play, experience, test rides, corporate, training, and a venue that could probably hold a British Championship here. So yeah, good work, Matt.
Okay, let's party.
Now, as always, I kind of want to be honest. So let's do a section that we used to do on Series 1, which has got a lot steeper because of, well, things have got a lot steeper here at Westie's World. So here we go, down that first drop, into the corner, as we used to do on all of the older reviews. As you can see, the quality of the suspension from the Nitro, absolutely fantastic, and the sound, by the way, that's cold. So, same section I used to do. On the Beta I used to line up here in second, but on the Nitro I'm in first. So we're going to pick up for the first step, drive for the second one, on pretty worn tyres. But again, I've had it a little while. So here we go. Fantastic ground clearance, by the way, on the Vertigo. And the pegs being so far back make it feel super planted. I'm going to go for a slightly more difficult climb now, as long as it's sort of in shot. Again, I'm going to leave it in first. So down the bottom edge of this corner. Super manoeuvrable, by the way, the Nitro. And you can see there's a little undercut step in front of me. Not very big, but then again, the camera never gives anything justice, so I say to the missus anyway. First gear. Quick run through on brakes. Now I've upgraded the front brake, but we'll talk about the bling in another episode. They come standard with the Brake Tech brakes, which are tried and tested, fantastic. And as you can hear, as they squeak along nicely, that was possibly some of my worst balance ever there. But the brakes, solid, tried, tested, and work amazing. Obviously the bikes come with that FIM back disc on as well, as standard. This Works bike, supposedly, the Nitro Works, is, well, it's almost got everything an R3's got on it, so value for money, or, well, you just get what you pay for. Old box standard section. Feels really easy nowadays. Either I'm spending a lot of time on the bike, or is it because I'm on a Vertigo? But watch the old Beta 1 and see what you think. Obviously I've been doing a lot more riding since the whole lockdown hype, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. So there's some riding there. Now, as you can see, the Nitro, plenty of power. And I feel like people got a real negative vibe from my first review, but it wasn't negativity. At no point, if you watch back, do I say the bike is bad. And I know this because I spend many hours editing these videos. In fact, this is one of the most responsive two-stroke bikes I've ever owned in my life. That's a big thing to say. And honestly, it's so much fun to ride. When I ride, you can see there's the little woo, woo. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Having a good time. Now, I wanted to, in this video, start to address something that I get asked for all the time, and that's tutorials. So in this video, very quickly, I'm going to tell you the way to learn how to balance a bike. Now, there's a challenge going around at the minute on how to balance your bike, non-handed or some crap like that, which, to be honest, is something that I was able to do from about the age of, right there on a bit of a hill, so I could do with the front brake, but I don't know, I think I was about 6, 7 years old and I could master this, so people pulling up and doing this, and then doing things with it, is, I'd go as far to say pointless, but on a good note, maybe these guys are actually teaching you how to balance the bike through your feet. And that's the way it's done, kids. It's done through your feet, through your legs. There we go. I'm even on a hill right now and the steering's trying to give it the big one. But the idea is to be able to balance the bike through your feet. If you've got loads of pressure on your arms, it ain't gonna happen. So get yourself stood somewhere nice and steady, and it's about getting onto the bike gently. If you try and jump onto the bike, talking about jumping, right there, main gear. If you try and jump onto the bike, then it isn't going to work. But if you step onto the bike ever so gently, ever so carefully, then you'll be able to mount the bike and at the same time balance. You always see people wobbling trying to get their balance in a section. But even at a sat down position, if you get onto the bike nice and gently and leave the floor to the point where you're not really trying that hard to do it and you're calm, then believe it or not, you will balance quite well. So that's Trials Day top tip, you got to balance, don't rush, take your time, wax on, wax off, and all that crap. Oh, look, a hill. As always, thank you for watching TrialTube. This video wasn't really a review of my bike, it was more answering the comments and questions and thoughts about the review that I did on this bike. Also, I always get told to do a bit more bike time, so there you go. There is some of it. We've got some really interesting stuff coming up on the channel, so remember to like, share and subscribe. We've got a project bike coming up that you can see a glimpse of now. And we've also got some classics coming up. It's the classic show this weekend. I won't be there personally because, well, I just won't be going. And apart from that, once again, thank you for watching TrialTube. Cheers. Tell your friends. Oh dear. There we go. I'm always gentle.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel